Well, hello there, friend and foe alike. Thank you for moseying on back to the channel now. Now, here's the thing. Everyone is so focused on the meta, right? You know, who's the biggest and baddest of them all? Who can get it done the fastest? And rightfully so, because, you know, when a brawl breaks out, you want the biggest and baddest on your side of the line. And, you know, you want to be able to clear the content in the game with no trouble. But we often overlook some hidden gems hidden within the debris, right? Some characters that could provide to be useful. And so this way, they're just not collecting dust on your roster. Can see exactly what they could do when given the right tools. And you already know me. I'm all about testing. I'm all about pop locking, dropping, CTP swapping, and that's what we're gonna do. And I wanted to get to more, but I think the video is actually going to be limited to 3 characters. And the 3 characters you see right there. My man Star-Lord, Dormammu, and the sweetheart Gwenom here. And Star-Lord and Gwenom are going to... So they all have rages right now. All have rages. And we already know, you know, if you watch really any of my videos on this channel, we already know how Rage is performing when it comes to World Boss Legend with 22% Pierce, or even before I had 22% Pierce. Why did I go there? I wanted to go here. Yeah. So every time that I've tested this, every time that I've taken a CTP off the character and given them either a judgment or energy, their clear time has skyrocketed. The last one was Wanda, and I was on stage 25, and her clear time just from 60 to 30 bars went up by 30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's outstanding. And I think it's going to be the same, if not more of an increase for Dormammu. Actually, all three of them. All three of them. And thing is with Gwenom, I think she's even knocked down a couple more points down that rung because the proc is so inconsistent on the Rage. It's like Rage is performing even worse, right? Because of the Pierce, and the proc's not even going off to begin with, at least not when you want it to. So I think all their times are going to skyrocket, and I'm really hoping for Star-Lord's value to shoot up as well, because I actually already use them when it comes to you know, I use him on team with, you know, his lead, Cable, and Gambit, and you know, when I'm swapping, you know, between characters, I'll just charge up his tier 3 real quick, and he helps me push KNULL down those phases. Because Cable, like I've said in the past video, he could be a little finicky going from 22 to 12 bars. He could be finicky. So Star-Lord, he kind of picks up a little bit of that slack. But first, I don't have any roasts in this video, but I do have a few comments that I'm going to shed some light on. It shouldn't take too much time, but I will put a timestamp on the video for when these comments do end if you do want to skip ahead. All right, first up, so Fabian says, so this was in the video where I was showcasing, I was talking about the ranking guide, and I was talking about Moon Knight, and it slipped my mind, but yeah, Moon Knight, he has guard break immunity natively, he has it naturally, so that's the reason why he is able to avoid getting interrupted when just going through his skills. That's the reason for that, in case anyone was wondering. Yeah, these things sometimes I just, you know, I just forget about them. So that's the reason for that. It's good to know, though. Good to know. And thank you for commenting, Fabian. All right, and Pete Brooks says, my new favorite YouTuber. I'm not talking about Spuds. I'm not personally hyped for yet another stoop, but happy for some crappier tunes getting some love. Thank you, my friend. And so yeah, this was before the 3rd sneak peek, and yeah, we're getting I mean, they threw a wrench. They threw a wrench into the machine, right? We were not expecting Icarus from the Eternals, and it looks like, I mean, everyone's speculating right now, but he very well could be a native tier 3. And more on that in just a moment. And another thing, so you know, I get a lot of love and support, you know, from you guys out there. I think from, like, you know, the amount of views in terms of the amount of noise that's on this channel is exceeding. But I want to pose a question out there. So when this channel first started, there was a huge spike in, like, you know, compared to like maybe the last couple weeks, there was a huge spike in like subscribers Basically just kind of like, you know, subscribers, and it seems like it's like slowing down a little bit. Now I want to know your thoughts. If you think that it's just, you know, the nature of this channel here itself, or if it's more attuned to just, you know, the natural ebb and flow of YouTube, or if it's just that there's not that many people that are interested in Marvel Future Fight content and actually watching, you know, spending time watching Marvel Future Fight content. I know me personally, you know, there really wasn't enough for me to digest, you know, before I started making videos myself, and that's one of the reasons why I started making it. You know, I kind of saw a need, and I said, why not? Let's give this thing a whirl. But I want to know your what your thoughts are on that, and you know, do you think the channel has potential to pick up that pace again? All right, next up. Okay, so Saeed says, bro, is Aries good? Please showcase him. Yeah, I just transcended Aries, and if you guys want me to showcase Aries, let me know. So yeah, if there's a lot of noise about that, I'll you know, it's gonna motivate me more to actually get to it. All right, next up, Just the Mask says, this should be World Boss Legend or new GBR. So he's talking about the third sneak peek that gives his bio, not Epic Quest or whatever they're planning to do. And MV Cozy says, I think he will be a new World Boss Legend. Like, no. Yeah, so I didn't, you know, suggest that in the sneak peek video that we could be getting like an Epic Quest or World Boss Legend or anything like that. And I held that speculation just because, you know, we really didn't get any information. Like the last Epic Quest that we got, all the sneak peeks were characters from that Epic Quest. So I don't know. I feel like it would be, my opinion, I feel like it would be odd to see an Epic Quest because it's not set up like as per the usual. But who knows? You know, they're constantly doing things different, right? They're constantly doing things different. And it could be anything. I wouldn't be opposed for I would love a new World Boss Legend. Me personally, I think a new World Boss Legend and maybe acquiring them the same way they acquired KNULL, I would be totally in favor of that. A new Epic Quest, I wouldn't be as crazy about. People are saying, yeah, new GBR. Yeah, we're definitely due for a new GBR 100%. But is he a villain? Like, does he fit that role for a GBR? And I don't know. We were expecting Black Winter to be a GBR, and that certainly didn't come. But I think World Boss Legend is more likely. Let me know your thoughts. What you think that this is actually going to be. Is he just going to be just a new character put in the game? For right now, it kind of seems that way. But I don't know. I would hope for anything else besides just a new character put in the game. New, like maybe even a new game mode. I would love a new game mode, or at least new World Boss Legend. All right, thanks for the comments, guys. And this is the last one here. So Luis Chavez says, I know this is probably dumb, but could you maybe try Wolverine on an all clear? I'm curious to see if my mans can do it for a future vid. Love your content, bro. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate the comment. And yeah, if you guys want to see Wolverine and more on this, so right now I actually have a, here, I'll show you the build real quick. Right now I have a greed on him, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys want to see me do it with the greed, or if you want me to, or if you want to see if you could do it with the rage. I mean, his build really isn't all that good at all. You know, he was never really meta, right? So if his unity is mythic. So if you want to see him, and if you want to see him with me clear with the greed or rage, or maybe both, and see actually we can see what the difference actually is. All right, so there is that. Okay, now we're gonna jump into some. We're gonna do the quick and dirty. We're gonna run their times, all three of them. Run their times from 60 to 30, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna do some CTP swapping, pop lock and dropping, and we're gonna see what the difference is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, first up, we're gonna rock out with our boy Star-Lord here. Now I must have ran him hundreds of times in ABX, and as far as like the specifics on his rotation, I slipped my mind a little bit because I remember it was a bit finicky and a little tricky, but you know, you play KNULL a little bit different anyways, right? We can get a proc here. Yeah, we're always getting pushed back there. Really, I don't know if there's any way around that. And here we go, proc. There we go. That's what I like to see. I mean, so if that's what's happening with the rage, I'm curious to see what's happening to the energy, because you're canceling all those skills anyways, right? You're canceling all the skills anyways. I think we want to wait for this 5 here. Okay, yeah, we're getting beat up. Yeah, the damage is just, it's that much better when you hit the 5 before the tier 3, right, for the accumulation. But I'm not sure if you always want to wait for that. Let's try it the other way here. See what we're getting. So it's not as much, but you know, just from the time that you're actually waiting, you might want to wait. Okay, 343? 343 with our boy Star-Lord. Let's rock out with the Lord of Darkness now. And on to the Lord of Darkness here. Now, if you notice, I'm giving them the same team and the same strikers. Now, this isn't a test, you know, against each other. You know, so it doesn't really matter, you know, what team up I give each one. But incidentally, we're actually kind of testing them against each other. And I'm curious to see who's actually going to have the greater increase, right? See how they stack up. I have a feeling that they're going to be pretty even. You know, depending on if Dormammu's proc actually wants to work. Because that's a thing. That is definitely a thing. Now, I like to wait for the 3 and the 2 to come off cooldown, go into the 6, and then into the 4. Boom. That's nice. That's very nice. But yeah, I mean, you know, proc is just, it's pretty bad. And it always activates when you don't want it to because of the residual fire damage. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I'm not really complaining. We're gonna get caught. Yep, we got caught up. It's all good though. We got the tier 3 charged up, so we're gonna go 3, 2, tier 3, 5, and then into the 4. And that's what I like to see. I like to see them bars flying. Proc again, nice. 3, 2, and we're gonna hit the tier 3 now. But yeah, you know, I feel like you could do a bunch of different things with Dormammu's rotation. There we go. He's at 340. Not too far behind Star-Lord. I mean, just a few seconds. I'd say they're pretty much on par. So it's going to be interesting to see what gets the bigger increase. Energy or judgment, right? So we're testing you know, a few different dynamics here. A few different dynamics. And I think this is going to be interesting to actually see. Like I said, this was indirect, but you know, I like the way how things are turning out. All right, let's test Sweetheart here. Sneaky Bandit here at your service, fulfilling his one and only reason for existing, which is to bring you inside detailed information. Okay, now here's the thing. You're gonna notice in this video, because the Sneaky Bandit, he's not sure exactly where he's gonna place this clip, so it may be before or after you've already seen the run. But you'll notice in the video that I'm not canceling the 4 before going into the Awaken rotation. What the rotation should look like is 3-4 or 4-3, 5, and then 6. You always want to use 5 before the skill you're going to proc on, because it has this increased damage by 100% for one attack. And that goes for any character that has this, most notably Beta Ray Bill with his 3rd skill. But I'll tell you this. So I realized this after the fact, and I tried to get another run recorded, but I couldn't match the time that I have not using 4. And that could be for a number of reasons. It could be, you know, just because of procs. Maybe I had some really good procs then. It could be just the way that KNULL's defensive mechanics work, and you know, something or other along those lines. I'm not exactly sure what, but I could not match the time. So I'm going to leave the clip that I'm not using the 4. And it's actually kind of a good thing, because I'm not doing that with the Rage, and it's kind of too late to, you know, unless I wanted to unequip the energy and go back to Rage. But they're both using the same exact rotation, so you're gonna see everything on par. And this, you know, and it's a video, you know, the whole purpose of it is as a comparison, to compare energy to rage and, you know, kind of what's going on there. So, but I just want to make note that you do want to use the 4 before you want to use the 4 in that rotation to get this buff here. To get the thing is this, she's also getting buffs on her 6 though. She's getting her crit rate is going to be maxed. So all her skills are actually, you know, getting capped with every rotation. It's just the only thing that she's actually not getting is going to be this 30% all attack, all defense buff. All right, Sneaky Bandit out. Enjoy your broadcasting. Next up is the sweetheart, Miss Gwenum here. So this is the best team up that I could actually give her. Hero Hawk lead, and there aren't any team up bonuses. The best is max HP and all defense from Sentry and Hulk. You'd think, like, you know, I don't know, Gwenum would have like with either Venom, Spider-Man, any, you know, Carnage, any of those characters, or Hulk would have one with like Captain America or Iron Man. Nope, wrong you are. So this is it. These are the strikers I'm gonna run with. I changed them up a little bit because I had Nova and Doctor Strange, which only benefited energy attack. So they're a little bit different. But like I said, we're not comparing, you know, each character to each character. We're comparing them amongst themselves. And I'm only gonna run this once. I honestly don't care what's going on with the proc. That's just the way it is with her, and that's just the way it's gonna be, and that's where we're gonna clock her time in at. Like, look at this. Like, no proc at all. Okay, here it comes a little bit. And I mean, I'm not hopeful in getting a proc. Okay, we actually are getting a proc a little bit. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. Me squeaking a little damage. A little squeaker. Squeaker to boot. And I'm pretty sure the rotation for energy looks exactly the same. 3, 5, I don't know, I'll have to play around with it before I actually before I record. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty much exactly the same here. But yeah, it's a shame that she actually doesn't get any damage on the end of her 4, because I think that's where a lot of her damage actually is. Yep, nothing. So you might want to, like, with a rage, you'll cancel into, you know, 1 and 2 perhaps. But yeah, this is taking her a long time. Good thing the proc activated. I'm happy about that. I'm just letting this play out. Yeah, there seems to be a bit of damage at the end of her 6, but I'm not going to hit any other skills here. I'm going to get trapped up, because that's what we do. We get trapped up by the Clintar cage. Proc? Little proc? Proc for anybody? No? No? Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, proc. I mean, what is, like, why? Why is the proc so bad with her? It's terrible. Look at this. Nothing. Okay, we got some at the end. I mean, better than nothing. Better than nothing. And I think you could, like, if it comes late, you could hit the 3 at the end. And there seems to be, like, you know, a little burst on 3. Okay, so we got our 5 canceled there. I mean, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. We're close. If we get a proc here, we'll finish this, like, in a decent time. Nothing, huh? Nothing at all. Okay, I activated on 3, which is whatever. It's better than no proc at all. Okay, I think we might have snuck a little bit in there. Okay, we got 5 canceled again, and we got 4 canceled. So we have to wait. And, you know, we're gonna go into the 6. I was gonna hit the 4, but we'll just go into the 6 here. Wow, this is taking so long. Okay, we'll call it 215. 215 with a rage, and I think she could definitely do it faster. But how many times do you want to run that? Just, you know, in hopes, fingers crossed, that the proc's actually gonna work out for you. That's terrible. So, you know, Gwenum, I'm curious to see who's going to have the biggest increase. It might be Gwenum, just because of the vast inconsistency with the rage proc. So let's find out. Let's do some pop lock and dropping and CTP swapping, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and rock out with our guy Star-Lord first, just because he was the first one we tested, right? So let's go ahead, let's unequip that rage. And I got some bonus there, some crystal spending bonus. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna lock that, and then we're going to put, I believe it's that on. Yep, here we're gonna put this energy on him. I've tried to roll some energies right before this to get some better rolls here, but on the short notice, this is the best we can do. And Gwenham's is even a little bit worse here, but let's go ahead. I mean, it's really the ignore dodge that actually matters. All right, and here we go. This is our boy Star-Lord with a proc. Now, I tried, getting a decent run, recording just like this, and I don't, it just wasn't working out. So I recorded it independently, and I got it in for you guys. And the first one, I was able to do it absolutely pretty much perfectly. And I have to say that Star-Lord, I think, just like with most other characters, swapping in and out will be, the best practice, just because. Well, more so with Star-Lord because of the long cooldown on 5, and you want to wait for that 5 before hitting the tier 3, because it has an attack buff and it has accumulation on it, and you see it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference, and you definitely want to have that up. When you pop that tier 3, because that's where basically all his damage is. So he's a little finicky to play with an energy if you're playing him. As a solo clear, but you'll see. So his time before was 3:43. Let's see what his time is now. Yeah, definitely want to avoid that thing. That thing is the worst. And yeah, you can have his tier 3 up on every other rotation, but you have that. I mean, look at those bars flying now. Look at them flying. Man, imagine if he had beatdown. Maybe I'll give him beatdown. If anyone wants to see him with beatdown, let me know, because I got a few. I got a few in inventory, and I'm curious to see if I don't know, maybe I can stack this man, right? Give him like 16 Odin's blessings and fully awake the ISO 8 set, and throw a mighty on him, and watch him go, watch him fly. But I could definitely see him, now charging up that tier 3, and for some of my higher stage runs. I mean, he's doing some excellent damage, and like I said, swapping in and out, that's going to be the way to go. And right here, if we didn't get held up here, would it even been a little bit faster? But I mean, look at this, look at that. Those bars would have went well past 30, So 350. His time increased by 7 seconds, but I think his value has increased, in relation to the time, it's much greater than that. Like I said, swapping him in and out, because basically you have that tier 3, right? You just basically, you do one of his rotations, then on the very next rotation, so picture this, you do one rotation, right? You swap him out. When you swap him back in, right? Like if you're avoiding the goo or anything like that, you swap him back in, and then on that next rotation, you have his tier 3 up. You have his tier 3 ready, and you can let it fly, and then you basically continue to do the same thing. So I'm liking that. I mean, those bars were just flying on that tier 3, absolutely flying. So I'm glad to see that. I think I'll keep that energy on him, or if I don't keep that energy on him, then it's going to be a mighty energy, and his build is gonna increase a little bit. All right, let's swap that judgment onto our guy Dormammu. Let's go ahead. I rolled one of these. I was kind of lucky. Let's unequip that. That's a really nicely rolled rage, by the way. 30. And I rolled, where is it? So this one here, I mean, the chain hit damage could definitely be a little bit higher, but I don't have a lot of, like, this one. This one might be better. I mean, the attack's definitely a bit lower, but the chain hit damage might be that important. That'd be a good test to seek out. So we're gonna put this one on him. 30 all attack, 15.5 chain hit, and that's what it's gonna be. We're getting bamboozled here with Dormammu. First, my 4 skill was stuck, and then the second time the proc wasn't working. But the judgment should be more consistent than rage. That should 100% be one of the benefits of swapping to a judgment, is that you know you can count on the proc working a lot more consistently. Almost too good, and that might be something to consider, maybe even swapping a rotation around. Okay, we almost knocked him down to the second. That would speed up the time quite a bit if you could, if you have enough damage. I'm gonna pop this. Just popping it just because I think that's gonna be the smarter play here. I don't want to hit the. I was gonna hit the 4, but I want that off cooldown. Actually, if I would have hit it, I would have had the tier 3 up. We're going to hit the tier 3 now. We're getting the tier 3 inside the proc. And, wow, 405. His time before was 340. 340, so 25 seconds faster on stage 14. Okay, so that's not as much of an increase as it was for Wanda, because Wanda was 30 seconds on stage 25. So maybe the power level might be, so Wanda might just be that much stronger. She did have supports though. She had more supports. She had her own leadership. She had Valkyrie and Raven, I believe, or maybe it was Storm. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But so that could be a factor. But in any case, 25 seconds faster on stage 14. That's nothing to shake a stick at. I like that. I'm liking that. All right, let's last but not least, let's grab the sweetheart and see what she can do. All right, now let's go ahead. Let's pop this rage off her. Pop, lock, and drop in CTP, unswapping. Let's unequip this, and we're gonna lock that. And then you know what? I made a mistake. So I intended on giving Star-Lord the one with higher ignore dodge. And then I realized that Star-Lord has 40% ignore dodge on his passive. So it would have been better to actually give the one. It's only 6%, but still it would have been better to give her the one with higher ignore dodge. So she doesn't need that crit down. I believe she gets a crit rate buff. Okay, it's by 15%. So let's go ahead. Let's swap this to crit rate. So yeah, anytime for anybody out there, if you're swapping around CTPs, especially a rage to an energy, you definitely want to take a look at that as well. You want to see if they get a crit rate buff, right? Because chances are you have their crit rate maxed out because of the the crit rate that you have on the rage. So and chances are you probably have the 4th gear option to crit damage, right? Usually you do. Okay, so everything looks good now. All right, now let's go ahead. Let's pop this rage off her. Pop, lock, and drop in CTP, unswapping. Let's unequip this, and we're gonna lock that. And then you know what? I made a mistake. So I intended on giving Star-Lord the one with higher ignore dodge. And then I realized that Star-Lord has 40% ignore dodge on his passive. So it would have been better to actually give the one. It's only 6%, but still it would have been better to give her the one with higher ignore dodge. So she doesn't need that crit down. I believe she gets a crit rate buff. Okay, it's by 15%. So let's go ahead. Let's swap this to crit rate. So yeah, anytime for anybody out there, if you're swapping around CTPs, especially a rage to an energy, you definitely want to take a look at that as well. You want to see if they get a crit rate buff, right? Because chances are you have their crit rate maxed out because of the the crit rate that you have on the rage. So and chances are you probably have the 4th gear option to crit damage, right? Usually you do. Okay, so everything looks good now. And here we are. All right, so I did the same thing that I did with Star-Lord. I just I kind of just recorded a run. I just pre-recorded it. It just seemed it's just easier that way, just to get a decent run. And you'll see, you'll be shocked at the results. So there's some good and then like some not so good. So you'll realize that our proc is much more consistent. It's much more consistent. I'd say it doesn't necessarily even come late, but the proc on the 4 is still a little bit iffy. If it does come, it seems like it comes late, but the proc on 6, it works every time. It works excellent. I'm wondering if there could be a different skill to actually proc on besides 4. Maybe the 3. I don't know. You know, it's something I'll have to try to play around with. But I mean, look at those bars. Like, you know, she could definitely be, again, you know, the whole swapping her in to do her awaken skill. I'd like to take her into some higher levels and see exactly how she stacks up against other characters. I'll save that for another video. I'm not going to do that in this video, just cause of the length and time and all that. But you can definitely count on that in a future video. If you want to see how she stacks up against a particular character, let me know in the comments. But she's getting through this way faster than she was with a rage. I mean, look at that. I mean, she's doing, like, how many bars is that per awaken rotation? It's quite a bit. But it's just like, it's a shame that on her 4, like, it's like you see it. There's no proc, even with an energy. So if anybody knows, like, a different, I don't know, an avenue to take that could help the proc on just her regular rotation outside of her awaken rotation, let me know that in the comments as well. But it looks like it's going to be over here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the amount of damage that comes on that awaken skill, so it was at 312. 312, and her time before was 215 with the rage. Now, like I said, she can go a little faster with the rage, but I mean, how many times are you going to want to sit there and run it just to, you know, just to get a proc, like, consistently, or just at least some of the time? Because you saw how often that proc was actually activating on that rage run. It was terrible. It was just absolutely terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. I think that's going to conclude our video. I was thinking about taking them into some other game modes, right? Like doing it before and after in regular world boss, but, you know, Null's the place to be. I don't think many people want to see, you know, them tested in many other game modes, and Null seems to be the place where, you know, these types of effects are actually taking place, right? The Pierce and Rage and how things would actually stack up. So that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. If you aren't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Hit the like button. That's going to help, you know, get more eyes on these videos here if you want to support the channel. So thanks again. You guys stay tuned. You stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there. Peace.